world's largest motorcycle manufacturer, the world's largest internal combustion engines manufacturer, the second largest automobile manufacturer in Japan, first Japanese automobile manufacturer to introduce a dedicated luxury brand. These are some of the titles that come to people's minds when they hear the name Honda. Honda has now become one of the most prominent names in the automobile industry worldwide. However, the tales of its early days will leave any car enthusiast shocked, because Honda is a tale of failure and success, despair and hope, struggle and commitment, and most importantly, consistency. Very few people know that the founder of Honda started his journey by manufacturing piston rings for Toyota, a company that would one day become one of its top competitors on the global stage. But how did Honda become the top automobile manufacturer? How did it change the monopoly of Toyota? Come along as we explore the unexplored and tell the tales from the history of Honda that have remained untold. But before that, please make sure that you have subscribed to our channel. Also, hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update. Hit the thumbs up and sit back because the ride is about to begin. Let's get started. In a remote village in Japan called Komio, a car genius by the name of Soichiro Honda was born on November 17, 1906. It was a time when the world was witnessing the Industrial Revolution on a scale never witnessed before. Soichiro Honda used to be a curious kid and would help his father with bicycle repairs at his workshop. However, Soichiro couldn't keep up with his parents' expectation of higher grades at school because he turned out to be uninterested in traditional education. In fact, Soichiro found a trick up his sleeves to avoid getting in trouble for his bad grades. The school would hand him over his grade report to be stamped by his parents with the family seal, but Soichiro found a trick to avoid getting in trouble. He forged the family seal and would stamp the reports himself, keeping his teachers and parents oblivious to each other. That wasn't enough for him. He later started doing the same for other students and was eventually caught. However, his enthusiasm for cars cannot be questioned. Soichiro saw a car for the first time in his village as a toddler. He used to say that he could never forget the smell of car oil and even called it like perfume. This enthusiasm for cars led him to Tokyo. After turning 15, he left his home and reached Tokyo in search of work. Luckily, he got a job at a garage in 1922. That was like a dream come true for the teenager. He was so committed to his work that he didn't leave the garage for 6 years and worked day and night as a car mechanic for minimum wage just to stay around cars and earn a living. After 6 long years, Soichiro Honda returned home in 1928 only to start his own car repair shop. It was at the age of 22 that Soichiro finally started his dream business, but it was just the beginning of something big. One thing that most people don't know about Soichiro Honda is that he was also keen on racing. Along with his brother, Soichiro raced in the first Japan automobile race in 1936. Unfortunately, he crashed the car during the race, leaving him and his brother seriously injured. That was the last time Soichiro ever took part in a race. 1 year after the unfortunate incident and 9 years after opening his first workshop, Soichiro founded Tokai Seiki in 1937, a company established to manufacture automobile piston rings. Soichiro was eyeing a contract from Toyota. Tokai Seiki managed to get a contract from Toyota to supply piston rings for the company. However, Tokai Seiki soon lost the contract due to the poor quality of the piston rings. This left Soichiro devastated because he lost a major income source for his company. But he was determined. He even joined an engineering college to understand the science behind automobiles and enhance the quality of piston rings. He couldn't complete his graduation and left the college soon after. That still didn't break his determination to excel in his skills. Soichiro Honda roamed around Japan and visited Toyota factories to understand the quality control process and upgrade the quality of his products. After struggling for years, Soichiro finally understood what he was missing and went on to mass-produce high-quality piston rings for Toyota. Everything was going as planned for Soichiro Honda. That was until World War II happened. In 1939, just 2 years after the establishment of Tokai Seiki, the world saw its second war on a global scale. Japan was one of the most affected countries in the war, and so was the case with Soichiro's Tokai Seiki. In 1944, a US B-29 bomber soared through the skies of Japan, annihilating any standing buildings on the ground. One of the buildings, Tokai Seiki's manufacturing plant, was completely destroyed in the bombing. However, another plant was still functioning in Itawa, which, unfortunately, collapsed on January 13, 1945 in the Mikawa earthquake. The war left Soichiro Honda with nothing but some remains of his company. Hopeless to make it work again, Soichiro Honda sold the salvageable remains of his company to Toyota for 450,000 yen. With the money, Soichiro laid the first foundation of Honda with Honda Technical Research Institute in October 1946. Soichiro Honda had just 12 men on the team, working in a small space of just 176 square feet. Honda introduced its first motorized bicycle in 1948. It was called the Type A. Honda mass-produced the Type A motorized bicycles until 1951. In 1949, Honda Technical Research Institute was liquidated for 1 million yen, which equals $5,000 today. Soichiro used these 1 million yen, or $5,000, to establish Honda Motor Company Limited. This was the beginning of a new era in the automobile industry. This was the birth of Honda. In 1949, Soichiro Honda found Takeo Fujisawa, a long-lost friend from his days of struggle in the 1930s. Takeo Fujisawa and Soichiro Honda worked together day and night to take Honda Motor Company to its glory. Takeo Fujisawa provided financial mentorship and set it in the right direction, while Soichiro Honda overlooked the technical aspects of the company. Together, they introduced the first true motorcycle, the Type D, which eventually became the first model by Honda that went by the name Dream. In 1959, Honda entered the US market and outpaced market leaders in their home to become one of the most successful motorcycle brands in the United States of America. Eventually, Honda entered the racing arena and went on to win the Grand Prix and World Championships in the 125cc and 250cc categories in 1961. Fast forward 3 years, in 1964, Honda Motor Company became the world's largest manufacturer of motorcycles in a very short time. And that was the sign for Honda to move beyond just motorcycles and venture into the production of more vehicles. Why not? Honda had taken over the world in less than 20 years. Honda Motor Company introduced its first mini pickup truck in 1963 by the name T360. The mini pickup truck was out for sale in August 1963. The second vehicle from Honda that followed the T360 was a sports car titled S500. After the successful launch of two vehicles, Honda Motor Company never looked back. Soichiro Honda remained the president of the company until 1973 and was later appointed as the supreme advisor to the company in 1983. In 1986, Honda Motor Company introduced Acura, a luxury car brand in the United States, which then expanded to many other countries like Canada, Mexico, and Kuwait. In 1990, Nobuhiko Kawamoto was appointed as the new CEO by the Honda Motor Company, and it marked the start of a struggling decade for Honda. In 1991, the founding father of the Honda Motor Company, Soichiro Honda, died of lung failure at the age of 84, and this was the beginning of an unfortunate turn of events for the Honda Motor Company. Following the death of Soichiro Honda, the company quickly found itself lagging behind the competition in the market. One of the competitors that gave a tough time to Honda was Mitsubishi Motors. Mitsubishi Motors quickly changed the dynamics of the market in the 1990s by introducing some of its most successful vehicles, like Pajero and Diamante. This was an alarming situation for Honda Motor Company since it remained the market leader for decades due to the unwavering commitment and hard work of Soichiro Honda and many employees. Nobuhiko Kawamoto, the then CEO of Honda Motor Company, realized that the company would have to shift away from corporate culture and consider market-driven dynamics to survive. He took some crucial steps before stepping down from his position in 1998. Honda Motor Company introduced recreational vehicles like the Honda Odyssey and the Honda CR-V, introduced in 1994 and 1995 respectively. The company intended to resonate with its customers by introducing new models that would be popular among the general public rather than the company's engineers, and it proved to be successful as the Honda Motor Company's sales skyrocketed in the second half of the 1990s. One more important decision taken by Nobuhiko Kawamoto was to end the company's participation in Formula One in 1992. But why? Well, the world was finally noticing the environmental impact of burning fossil fuels. One of the major concerns in the 1990s remained the depletion of the ozone layer, which peaked in the year 2000. Nobuhiko Kawamoto knew that he had to take action if he wanted his company to head in the right direction and sketch a positive image in the minds of the general public. So, what he did was to end a long-standing association of Honda Motor Company with Formula One in 1992. Nobuhiko Kawamoto stepped down from his position as the CEO of Honda Motor Company in 1998 and was replaced by Hiroyuki Yoshino. After a brief struggle in the 1990s, Honda changed its direction to get ahead in the competition and once again became the market leader. In 2006, Honda established the Honda Aircraft Company to cater to the needs of customers in this particular niche. However, the delivery to customers didn't begin until 2015. The Honda HA420 Honda Jet was a business jet that took its maiden flight on December 3, 2003. But why did Honda start its delivery 12 years after its first flight? Well, that was because of regulatory hurdles. The Federal Aviation Authority granted it the type certificate in 2015, and right after that, the first delivery to customers of Honda Jet started in December 2015. In the same year, Honda was termed the 8th largest automobile manufacturer in the world. This was a massive comeback from the company after witnessing its profit fall to almost zero due to the recession. By the end of 2019, just before the COVID pandemic hit the globe, Honda Motor Company reached a production of 400 million motorcycles, retaining its title as the world's largest manufacturer of motorcycles. Honda Motor Company announced in January 2020 that the company is withdrawing its employees working in the city of Wuhan, China, which is considered the hub of the COVID-19 virus. The company expected the virus to diminish over time, but to its surprise, it was only the beginning of a global pandemic. 2 months after withdrawing its workers from Wuhan, China, Honda Motor Company became the first automobile manufacturer to halt manufacturing in its plants across the United States. However, it resumed operations after 2 months in May 2020. Now, Honda Motor Company intends to develop vehicles with a new hydrogen fuel system and initially market them in the United States, aligning with the original vision of Soichiro Honda to focus on innovation and technological advancement. This proves that Honda still adheres to its roots and is indeed headed in the right direction. Honda Motor Company now has a market cap, or net worth, of over $50 billion. Starting from piston rings to becoming a multi-billion-dollar company, Honda Motor Company has come a long way and has earned a name for itself. Soichiro Honda might not be alive today, but his name remains synonymous with innovation, comfort, and success. And that was the inspirational story of Honda. We hope you liked today's video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more inspirational and informational tales from the past. Also, hit the bell icon to never miss a video from our channel. Tell us in the comments section which is your favorite car from Honda and why. And if you know someone who loves driving Honda, share this video with them. We'll see you in another video soon. Thank you for staying with us today.